So that's great. You just take your little diesel jeans model and just go live happily ever after.
I had to start this video out with that clip from Janelle because, in my opinion, it is going to go down as a Sister Wives classic moment. Of course, it was from season 19, episode 22, which is titled Love Covers All, and that's what we're going to talk about in this video. I actually want to start this video out by talking about Christine and David. There really wasn't that much of a storyline for them. It's their first Valentine's Day where they are married. Christine is really excited to be the center of someone's attention. You know, Valentine's Day was awkward when they were married to Kody because he had to make sure he was treating all of his wives the same, and so they would often just have a family party. Christine said that was fine, but she's really looking forward to this. Her and David end up going out to dinner, but before that, Aspen and McKelty come over to her house and help her pick out an outfit to wear for that night. Truly is there as well, and Truly joins them, but this is not something that she is really interested in.
Okay, I'm going to my room.
No,
fun.
Wait.
Okay, wait.
Truly.
So yeah, Truly felt a little bit awkward. She didn't stick around for long. Ultimately, Christine picks out a red dress. She goes out to dinner with David. There was a moment where the waiter asks if they're celebrating something special, and I found that to be a little bit of an odd question at a restaurant, supposedly near Valentine's Day, when the person that's walking in is wearing red. I feel like this might have been filmed either later or earlier to sort of add a storyline for Christine. Of course, I don't know if that's true, but it just felt like that was an odd thing for the waiter to ask. The only other thing I want to mention about Christine, and I'm just going to bring this up really quickly, and you guys can let me know how you felt about it, but I had some serious secondhand embarrassment when she was talking about David showing people the video of her giving him a lap dance at their wedding. It was already one of those moments that was like, I was on the fence about it. I'm glad Christine's happy and confident, but those kind of moments can be a little bit awkward for people. And then David keeps showing it to people, so now she has to sort of relive it all again. I just felt a little bit of secondhand embarrassment when I was watching it. You guys can let me know how you felt about that lap dance down in the comments. All right, let's go ahead and move on to another topic. I want to talk about Coyote Pass. We see Mary and Janelle out there in Flagstaff. They're getting together to talk about the property. During confessionals, Mary says that she just wants to be done with it all, and Janelle agrees. She says if she had her way, she would have already sold it. So both of these ladies are ready to move on, and who can blame them? I would want to be done with Kody and Robyn as well. We have seen such a big change in Mary during this season and the last one, and it is so good to see her on the other side. There was a time she would have defended Kody forever, defended Robyn forever, and in this episode, she admits that she doesn't know what the end game is for Kody when it comes to this property. I'm going to put a clip in here of her talking about what she thinks he might possibly be doing.
Is he trying to play a game with us so we just get so tired of it that we're like, we just dump it? It's like, fine, you have it.
Thanks to social media, we know what the outcome is with the property, but we don't really know what happens between this point in the show and when it's actually sold, so I am still interested in watching. I just like that Mary is questioning Kody. He is not this great guy who treated them well, so she should assume that he is not looking out for her. He didn't look out for her when she was married to him. He's not going to do it now. When they are out there at the property talking, they are in agreement, right? They're out there and they agree that Kody's not doing anything. They want to get the ball rolling. They want to be done with this. They want what they deserve. They want money for what they put into this property. But what's weird about the two of them, and you guys, you need to let me know if you pick up on this. Here they are agreeing, and there's still some weird tension. I can't decide if it's tension due to the history they have together or if it's really because their personalities are so different. It's just weird. They just don't seem that comfortable with each other. And you would think they're out there on the same side now, and it would just, I mean, I'm not going to say the past is going to go away, but you would think it wouldn't seem so tense. But I could still pick up on it. So I want to know if other viewers noticed that as well. The one thing they agree on is when the property was divided up, it didn't make sense to them. They questioned it, but they were pretty much told not to question it. You know, Kody would say they weren't looking out for the family. They were looking out for themselves. They weren't being good sister wives. So he was not okay with them questioning it, and he tried to make them feel bad for it, which doesn't surprise me one bit. I mean, we watched that on the show.
Interesting, because when you would say something, he would do this thing like, well, you're not being a team player. Like, he'd make you feel bad for bringing up a question.
If you think about it, it was always in Kody's benefit that the women were not getting along and that there was jealousy, and he had them trying to compete for his attention. Because if they would have all gotten together and pointed out some of the stuff was unfair and actually agreed and created a force against him, this family might have turned out completely different. It worked out for Kody that there was issues between the wives. They also talk about how when they first were in the family, in the beginning, the early years, the pre-Robyn, pre-Sister Wives show years, they struggled, they moved around a lot, they all made sacrifices, and they all contributed to the idea that they were one family, and they would all have to sacrifice, but they would all have the benefits in the end. It was all going to be shared. And then things start to get better, right? They get the show, their finances start to change, and Robyn enters the picture. And of course, at that point, Kody sees Robyn and finds the love of his life. So everything sort of shifted. And Mary brings up the fact that Kody's claiming he never loved them, that he felt forced to marry them. And both of them agree that's just not true. He was not forced to marry them. He's just saying that because of his ego. Later on in the episode, Kody agrees. He says he shouldn't have said that. He was saying it because of where he was mentally and emotionally. But this leads to Janelle making the comments about the diesel jeans model.
Kody has said, well, all of a sudden I met Robyn and she's this diesel jeans model and she's everything I want. And I'm thinking, that's rich, dude.
This episode might not have been the greatest of all time, but there were definitely some moments that will be quoted forever. And I think this is one of them. Janelle is talking about how Robyn wasn't there during the lean years. She wasn't there during the trying times. She came along when things were good. So Kody's now running off with that wife. She doesn't have that history with them, which is something I know viewers talk about all the time. You guys have left comments about it. I've talked about it in videos. She wasn't around during those years. She wasn't a part of that. Even though Mary's comments weren't quite as funny as Janelle's, I thought there was one thing that was worth bringing up. She says that Kody and Robyn shouldn't be the only ones benefiting when they all contributed to the property. So it shouldn't just be those two getting the money. And I think there is some thinking that Kody has done where in his mind it makes sense that they get the property because everyone else left the family. So Kody is like in his mind the center of it all. Well, Christine left, Janelle left, Mary left, Robyn and I are the family. And that's just not how it works. Like, I do think that he kind of believed that in some way. I don't think he felt like he should have to share anything with anyone else. And he makes the comment about it later in the episode.
And then you decide to break up? Well, you guys are all leaving.
That right there is what I'm talking about. He sees himself as the center of it. Whoever is with him is the family. So even if majority of the people left, anyone who's with him should get what they all contributed to.
So what, you want me to take Robyn, what Robyn has and take from that? I mean, the only assets I have are what were Robyn's assets.
So based on that, Kody has absolutely nothing. He had no income, nothing at all. It's all Robyn's. I find that hard to believe. And does he not consider that he should have to pay child support? That he should have had to contribute to the other households? He always says, well, they wanted to separate the money. His money should have been going to everyone still, and I just don't believe that it was. That has not been implied at any point in this season when they've talked about finances. I think it's wild that Kody doesn't think he should have to contribute to the lives of his children that are not with Robyn. Kody goes further and says that him and Robyn have put more money into Coyote Pass than anyone else. He actually has a number. He says 160,000. You guys, I don't give a crap. I don't care that this man has put more into Coyote Pass. It doesn't change anything for me, because I know that he didn't pay for his kids the way he should have. I don't need any other proof than Gwendolyn in the surgery. Not attending and not wanting to pay for it was all I needed to see that there was an issue there with Kody and money. One thing that absolutely surprised me was the fact that Kody says Robyn isn't ready to sell the property just yet. We know Meri and Janelle are ready to get away from this and be done with it. Kody's done with it, but he says that Robyn isn't, and he doesn't want to rush Robyn for Meri and Janelle. There's a part of me that thinks this is straight up spitefulness. Robyn cannot possibly think it's in anyone's best interest to keep that property. You cannot tell me she thinks they're going to all come back together and live on that land. How is she in that level of denial? How does she not see that they need to let this go? There's just this part of me that thinks it's a little bit spiteful. Like she might be the one who's actually dragging this on. There is one more clip I want to put in about Coyote Pass. This is Kody talking about Meri, Janelle, and the whole situation with the property.
No matter what Janelle says about me ripping you off, that's all imagined in Janelle's head because Janelle feels like, oh, I got divorced, so I deserve something.
That is literally how it works. When you get divorced, things are divided. She is owed something. Meri is owed something as well. Janelle's thoughts apply to Meri, Christine, and herself. They have left Kody. When they left, they should have got some portion of the assets. That's how it works. Do you guys think Kody realizes how odd this sounds to people on the outside? Or do you think when he says stuff like that, it never crosses his mind that people might not relate to his thinking? All right, let's take a few minutes to talk about Kody and Robyn. I'm going to be honest with you guys. This wouldn't have been interesting to me. At least the beginning of it wouldn't have been. But with the information we now know about Robyn, it did add a little bit of an additional layer to it. We see Robyn and Kody putting together a vanity set for Ariella. And Kody talks about how Robyn likes to give gifts. And there's this moment where he calls her the shopping queen. And I was like, yeah, it sounds like she is. If we didn't know everything we know now, I would have just thought they have nothing to say. And so they're giving them a storyline like they gave Christine one. But I think there's a little bit of truth to this. It might have all happened on its own. And all of this might be really authentic. And to be honest with you, if we didn't know about all of the shopping she does and how extreme it really is, I wouldn't have thought anything of this. But now it just feels a little bit different. We see them put together this vanity set for Ariella. She comes home from school and she absolutely loves it. I will say, I've read some comments where people were criticizing the fact that Ariella likes to wear makeup. And that really surprises me because almost all children I know like to dress up in some capacity, boys and girls. There's a reason they sell, dress up clothes and costumes. I think all kids like to do that. The same for getting into makeup and, crazy hair day at school. Those things are popular because the kids like to do that stuff. They like to wear unusual clothes or put on makeup or try to feel pretty. I don't know why Ariella would be an exception to this. So I was very surprised by all of the online comments about that. The interesting part was really, to me, the shopping. I'm like, was it a coincidence that all of that came out and then we got this episode? Or is there more to it? Was this all plotted and planned by TLC? I don't know. You guys can let me know what you think. After Ariella gets this, we end up seeing Robyn and Kody go out for Valentine's dinner. Kody gives her some turquoise jewelry. Pretty jewelry for the pretty wife. Yeah. We know how it is with the two of them. We find out that Kody wants to see the kids in Utah. That was probably the most interesting, truly interesting part of Kody and Robyn's portion of the show to me. Good for Kody. finally seeing his kids without Robyn. I have talked about this since I started the channel. I talked about it before I started the channel. I think Robyn interferes with his relationships with the kids from the other wives. So I think it was time for Kody to spend time with the kids alone. He did that, and he talks about a conversation that he had with Aspen.
You know, Aspen and I had this long discussion. She said, Dad, what is wrong? What did I do? Why don't you like me, Dad?
I would say
So yeah, it sounds like Aspen was bold enough to say exactly how she was feeling, and she has every right to do it. Good for her. I'm glad she did say what she needed to say. And Robyn then responds by saying, that sounds like more of a confrontation. You know, confrontation isn't always bad. Sometimes we need to have those moments where we say what's on our mind. So I don't know what Robyn's motive was for pointing that out, but maybe it was a confrontation, and good for Aspen for doing it. Good for her. That's my take on it. I don't know what Robyn's angle was for responding that way. I know online people do not like it. They don't like that she came back with that. But I guess I don't care what Robyn says about it. I think it's good that Aspen did it, and I think it's good that Kody went and spent time with his kids alone. I hope that is something he continues to do. Hold on, I'm going to backtrack a little bit. I hope he continues to try to spend time with the other children if he can go in with the right attitude and be in the right emotional space, because quite frankly, I think he is a mean man and says mean things when he is not doing well. And if he's not doing well, he should just stay home. So that is it, you guys. That's my recap for this episode. You can let me know if I missed out on anything that you thought was important or funny. Let me know down in the comments. Let me know what you thought about all of this. And if you haven't already, click like and subscribe. I hope you'll do that and come back to Happily Ever Reality.